Okay, so this lesson right here is just kind of a lot of notes. This is your divisibility rules. This should be something that you learned in second grade, or not second grade, third grade when you started learning division, and then worked more with it in fourth grade. And then in fifth grade, hopefully started applying it when you learned all the different ways to divide with larger numbers. So here we're just gonna go ahead and take some notes on divisibility rules so you have these things in your notebook. So the first thing we have to know, what are even numbers and what are odd numbers? So even numbers are any number that ends, okay, the last number all the way to the right is either a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. That makes it an even number. If the last number all the way to the right or the end is 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9, it is an odd number. These are things that you have to know. What is an even number? What is an odd number? So here we have the definition or the description. Any number ending with an even number is divisible by 2. So if it ends in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, it is divisible by 2. That means you can divide it by 2. Then we ask ourselves, well, how do we know if it's divisible by 3 or 9? Okay, let me move this over. So a way to determine if a number, an integer, is divisible by 3 or 9, what you do is you take each digit in the number and add them together. If they equal a number that is divisible by 3 or 9, then that big number is divisible by 3 or 9. And here is an example. So I have the number 378. That's huge. And we know it ends in an 8, so therefore it's divisible by 2 because it's an even number. But is it divisible by 3 or 9? Well, you take your digits, you take your 3 in your hundreds place, your 7 in your tens place, and your 8 in your ones place. You don't add place values, you're adding the digits. So 3 plus 7 plus 8 is 18. Now, we all know 18 is divisible by 3. 18 divided by 3 is 6. 18 is also divisible by 9 because 9 times 2 is 18. Therefore, 18 is divisible by both 3 and 9. So this is an easy check, okay? Then we say the next rule is, how do we know if it's divisible by 4? Well, what you do is you look at any number. It is only divisible by 4 if the last 2 digits are divisible by 4. So any number, okay, and I've tried this, so this really works. So if you got this really large number and you look at the last 2 digits, it is 20. 20 is divisible by 4 because 4 times 5 is 20. Therefore, the whole number is divisible by 4. Crazy, huh? Let's see. Obviously, divisible by 5 is an easy one because any number that ends with a 0 or a 5 is divisible by 5. So that last digit all the way to the right, if it is a 0 or a 5, it is divisible by 5. How do we know if it's divisible by 8? Okay, well, you look at the last 3 digits. If the last 3 digits all the way to the right are divisible by 8, then the whole number is divisible by 8. And I just kind of gave an example. 8's kind of tricky. 3 numbers makes it a little more difficult because it makes it a larger number. We like to work with 2 and 3 digit or 1 and 2 digit numbers, but 3 digits get a little crazy. And then finally we have, is it divisible by 10? Well, we all know that any number that ends with a 0 is divisible by 10. And that is it for your divisibility rules. So make sure you take those notes so that you can refer back to them when we're practicing our math in class.